Okay, good. I wasn't sure if this was working over here or I had to use this mic. Ava, he said Mr. Lamour to see you afterwards. I was a bit nervous. There was SA Rugby saying Lamour to me, so I wasn't get a bit nervous when I work for guys like that. Yeah, let me just firstly say thanks very much for inviting me. If I speak without this mic, can you hear me? No? Okay. All right. Firstly, thanks for inviting me. I have joined Richmark, as you all heard. Sounds a hell of an impression, like a hell of an impression on me when he says head of marketing and director and all that sort of thing. It's a hell of a long job. I don't know what it means yet, but the point is, I wanted to come and chat to you guys a little bit firstly about my book. I think that's one of the things that I'll chat to you a little bit about, and a bit the uniqueness of the book, and then a little bit about the World Cup and the strategies and why I think we won the World Cup. And I want to relate it to business because you guys are all in business. You live in South Africa, which is a very unique place. And there's a lot of similarities, not only in the book, but also in the 4-year preparation that we had in leading up to winning the William Webb Ellis Trophy. So, firstly, the book. I wrote a book just at the end of the World Cup. Obviously, the book was ended, was finished in my room, the final, in the evening of the final. The guy who wrote it is a boy that I taught. And he came with me to the World Cup, and literally as the final whistle went, he said, "Can I go up to your room and just finish off the last chapter?" And I said, "Sure." And you can imagine, I mean, literally 6 weeks later, the book was launched. And what I wanted to share firstly about the book is that the book was written on the basis that I wanted people around the world to see what it's like to coach a country like South Africa, and what it's like to coach the Springboks. Now, I mean, you've heard Albert just now, and it's not rocket science. There were 40 million people in South Africa that thought they were the coach, And every Saturday I got audited by 40 million people that thought they were the coach. And what I wanted people to understand in this book is that when you coach South Africa and the Springboks, it's a very, very unique job. Firstly, we have the expectations of every other rugby playing nation, if not bigger expectations than those guys. So you've got the All Blacks, and you've got the Wallabies, and you've got France, and you've got England. And all those countries have massive expectations on their national teams, and we probably have, as I said, if not the same, much bigger expectations. The second thing which we must understand is we have a history, and there's a standard that gets set before us that's not negotiable. Unfortunately, we've never lost to Argentina. We've only lost once to Wales in the history of rugby union, and I hope that stays the same in the next month as well, but I have my doubts. But the point is, we've only lost to Wales once, was the opening of the Millennium Stadium in 1999. And what I'm trying to say to you is that those standards and that history is not negotiable. And that also makes it very, very unique to coach in a country like this. I went to speak in Dubai at the United Arab Emirates Rugby Union. And they've got indoor skis resorts, they've got islands, they've got money, they've got anything you want. But the one thing the rugby union hasn't got is history. And you can't buy that. In other words, we're lucky enough that we have 100 years of the Springbok emblem. We have ex-Springboks, we have great Springboks, we have teams that were unbeaten, So the point I was making is that the first thing was expectation, the second one was standards and the history that comes with our game. And part of the book that I wanted to share with you is, then you have diversity. And I know people then assume that I'm talking about black and white, and I'm not. I'm talking about English, Afrikaans, English from Durban, English from Johannesburg, Afrikaans from Stellenbosch, Afrikaans from Pretoria. I'm talking about colored boys from Model C schools, and I'm talking about colored boys from shacks. I'm talking about black kids who went to private schools. I'm talking about black boys who lived in a township. And that is the uniqueness of coaching a country like South Africa, because when the pressure comes, they all react differently. And we assume that the norm is a Model C white kid who lives on the platteland is the one that we want to show that that's how you accept pressure. And it's not like that. In fact, sometimes when the pressure's on in rugby union, the black kid from the township who lived in a shack is the one that actually gives you the most, as opposed to the white kid we all assume. And I say that as a dad of 2 sons. I mean, I've got 2 boys, 16 and 12, probably the 2 most spoiled guys in South Africa. But the point is that why would they want to put their body on the line and dive into a ruck head first when they're going to get a car at 18, get a gap year overseas, get all my trust fund money from me. What I'm trying to tell you is that is where we live in a country like South Africa, and that's why I wrote this book. So the name was in black and white. It was obviously black and white. It was a school I went to. The boy that wrote it was a schoolboy that I taught. In black and white is in writing, black and white's my name, and obviously lastly black and white is a political connotation, which means if you sell it in the UK and you sell it in Australia and New Zealand, the chances are you're going to sell a lot more books than you would have. And at this point I think we've sold about 300,000. They say it's outsold Harry Potter, and I'm not surprised because there's more magic and more evil in my book than there is in any other Harry Potter novel, so I'm not quite sure how that works. In terms of the book, I'm going to end off by saying, I know Peter de Villiers is bringing out a book next week. It's called In Black, Out White. And I'm not a very thick book, but apparently they say it's quite a good read. Anyway, enough about